Yes, people, welcome back to another stream on the channel. This is the big one, the Arsenal versus Manchester United preview. And yeah, today we're doing a separate stream, just me going to talk about this match and only. So yeah, the big one is Super Sunday. I do have some couple guests with me. There will be some that will be joining later in a few minutes, but I only got Arsenal fans right now. So yeah, let's have them. Let's have them on. So the first one I'll be bringing is Manny. You guys should know him. Big up to Manny. How you doing, Manny?
Yeah, all good, all good, all good. It's good that we've got a United fan and an Arsenal fan co-hosting this stream, sort of maintaining some order. I predict riot, as the Kaiser Chiefs would say. I know they're Leeds United fans, but yeah, this should be fun. We've had a rivalry over the years. You think of some of the more iconic moments: Pizzagate, Keane versus Vieira, and what have you.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. So this is a big one, Manny. Big game. I'm gonna start with the next guest. Ole, big up to you, man. How you doing, Ole?
Yeah, I'm good.
Good, man. Good. Next is making his debut. It is Rory from Sugar. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm blessed, man. How are you?
I'm 50-50, man. Like the game itself, yeah, 50-50. But in general, I'm good, man. I'm good. But yeah, man, I'm not looking forward to it, but it should be a good one. Should be a good one.
Yeah, hopefully.
Just out of curiosity, Oris, why aren't you looking forward to it?
So we're about to bring in one of the worst left backs I've ever seen in my lifetime. That's Reguilon. Come on, man. We should be doing better than that. So yeah, and then I also got a United fan with me. And it is Toby. How you doing, Toby? I think you're on mute, Toby. You're on mute. Cool.
Yeah, just
yeah.
let him join. Cool. He'll join in, I think.
Connection.
And listen, look, we've had Nuno Tavares and one or two others. Be grateful you've got Reguilon.
Nice. Right, let's get into the game. Arsenal versus Man United. Oi, Super Sunday. I'm going to go to Ollie first, man. Ollie, talk to me. How are you feeling? Are you scared of Ten Hag and his tactics? Are you scared of the best Scandinavian striker in Manchester? Talk to me, Ollie.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game, but I think we can win this game. I'm pretty confident. But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be tough. Obviously, Man United are looking all right. They do need to invest, I think, and get through improvements. Maybe a midfielder, like you said before, and you don't really have a striker as well, like Arsenal. I mean, yeah, but I don't know. It's a 50-50 game. I think Man United possibly can go and win it, but I'm confident Arsenal can go on and win it. Yeah.
Definitely goal festing coming.
Goal festing.
Manny, how are you feeling for this game? How are you feeling?
You say you're not looking forward to it. I'm actually quite apprehensive. Not being able to take 3 points against a team that went down to 10 men with about a quarter of an hour to go and seeing them equalize with 5 minutes to go is not the best way to prepare yourself or psych yourself up for a match against Manchester United. Now, we can say whatever we want about how United are not the United of old, but for what it's worth, they're only 1 point behind us in the table, and they have a record of played 3, won 2, lost 1. And they had a worse start last season and went on to finish third. So Ten Hag is nothing if not a very smart tactician. And he's obviously going to want to try and erase the memories of the corresponding fixture last season where, he sort of allowed Arsenal to attack him, ended up coming back from, I believe it was 2-0 or 2-1 down to draw to tie it 2-2, only for Eddie Nketiah to score a late winner. Almost Thierry Henry-esque, if you like. And I said almost in case anyone tries to come at me. So if Ten Hag gets his tactics spot on, Arsenal are going to be in for a tough time, especially since I don't really have any confidence in Arteta getting it right on a Sunday. If he persists in this ridiculous tactic of playing Thomas Partey at left back, then we are in for trouble. Our only hope is for Zinchenko to start because, to be honest, replacing a right back who can't defend with a left back who can't defend isn't ideal. But Zinchenko is sort of lesser of two evils, as it were. And the biggest problem is that I'm sure Rory, Ollie, and now Connor might agree with me that Saka and Martinelli have been doing a great deal of running throughout these last few games, and certainly, been trying their best to make things happen. But I think they've also had a lot of energy sapped from them in the process, which is why they haven't been able to shoot as much. Certainly not Gabriel Martinelli. Saka has scored a couple, one worldie against Forest.
Yeah.
But I think Ten Hag will probably want to set his team out to try to stifle the midfield three and the lone striker. Will it be Eddie Nketiah? Will it be Kai Havertz? And the big debate is, could Havertz find a new niche as a striker, since he clearly can't cut the mustard as a midfielder? If I had to predict a score in this game, I really can only force myself to sit on the fence here. And we'll get to predictions in a minute, but I'm apprehensive, not overly confident. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I'm gonna obviously introduce the two United fans on. First of all, Dave from Premier League Prime Time. Big up to you, Dave. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Thanks for having me on, as always, Russ. Pleasure to be here.
No, Rosemary, good to see you. And also the main man, Traps. How you doing, Traps?
Good evening.
Good evening, Traps. How you doing, Traps? You right?
Good. How is everyone? Is everyone okay?
Yeah, all good.
All good, man.
All good.
Yeah, all good. All good.
Good stuff.
But yeah, and also Connor representing Arsenal with the Champions League badge. Quite, a bit surprised. But how you doing, Connor? You right?
Yeah, I'm Sam, man. I'm looking forward to this weekend. I'm confident. I'm actually confident. I can't lie. I know we've got a bit of a worrying start, but United are a bit shaky, man. They're a bit shaky at the moment. So it's at the Emirates as well. So I'm looking forward to it, man. And I'm with all my Man United mates on Sunday as well. So that'll be interesting if we lose that as well. So I'm looking forward to it, man. And thanks for having me.
No worries. But Rory, I'm going to come to you, Rory. Your thoughts on this game, Arsenal versus Man United? What do you think?
You know what? I feel like this game will be decided in the midfield. Whoever wins the midfield battle goes on to win the game, which is why I feel like it's important for Arsenal to set up with Thomas Partey in the middle, Rice, and then Odegaard. It's not rocket science. I don't know what Arteta is doing with this system so far this season. I'm not liking it. And I feel like he is playing Partey at right back to then accommodate Havertz into the midfield, which isn't ideal. And I feel like he's got to be dropped for this game. Like, it's not suited for Havertz against Man United at the weekend, in my opinion. I feel like he could be a great impact player off the bench, someone who can bring on in the last 20 minutes to salvage something, but someone to start a game. I mean, who knows? Against a Man United team who are obviously going to attack, then maybe Havertz will suit that style of play, because Man United, as they attack, if we're going to sell with that same system, it might see Havertz more with his strength and the fact he can hold up the ball as well. So, I don't know. He did well against Man City in the Community Shield, I felt like, in the false nine position. So, maybe that is his best position, but no one knows his best position, honestly. Right now, it's the bench, as far as I'm concerned. I'm not having all of this about, he's worth 65 million, you've got to start him. Well, then does Nicolas Pepe start over Saka, because Saka costs nothing and Pepe costs 72 million? Nah, didn't think so. So I feel like Havertz has got to be dropped to the bench. You've got to go with midfield three of Rice, Partey and Odegaard. And if he does, do what is required, then we go on to win this game. Like, Gabriel's got to start as well. I feel like he's our biggest threat from set pieces, and Ben White's got to start right back, and then Zinchenko at left back. I mean, the goalkeeper is debatable. I'm not too bothered who starts in goal. So, yeah, I mean, as I said, I feel like midfield will be won in this game by either side. I mean, look, if you go with Fernandes, Eriksen, and Casemiro, then I think we win the game depending on who we go with in the midfield. It's difficult to predict these sort of games, but because we are at home and United against the top 8 in the Premier League, they only pick up, 2 points? So they usually concede 4, 7, maybe not every game, but majority of the time they don't turn up away from home. So I'm confident that we can get a result, but it's a matter of time whether Arteta actually knows his best 11, because so far he hasn't. And if he does get this team right, then we go on to win the game, in my opinion.
100%. And we do have another person that joined, and it's Waleed. Long time.
Back over the channel, a few familiar faces. We got all the lads that are here as well. Cannot wait to get into this. It's going to be very interesting. Yeah, man, let's get into it.
Before I get on to Waleed and Connor, let's hear from the United side. Traps, how are you feeling for this game?
How am I feeling for this game? It's for me, it's a 50-50. It's both teams are not at their best at the minute. It just depends on key players showing up and who can really put their marker down on the game. So I feel like, obviously, El Capitan, Portuguese Magnifico, Bruno Fernandes has got to just boss that midfield and show everyone why he's the captain again, like he did it with Nottingham Forest. And obviously, we've got to be clinical. We're not going to get loads of chances in the game. So I feel that we have to be clinical. We might get 3 or 4 clear-cut chances in the game. We need to take them. And I feel like, I have a scene in my head. I don't know whether it's hope or it's delusion or whatnot, but I feel like Rasmus Højlund announces himself to the Premier League in this game. He might not start, but I feel like he comes on. Maybe him and Garnacho come on and do a quick demolition 25-minute job on these lot. It might be hope, but I'm not confident, but I'm not confident. I'm just a bit in the middle on the fence at the minute. I just think maybe, and when I sit on the fence with these, 9 times out of 10, it usually comes out being a draw. But I think we can get the win. I think this is probably the best time to play Arsenal. And we know, obviously, the last season, 3 games in, that's when we came alive. And we did that this season again. We came alive in the second half and we dealt with Nottingham Forest. So hopefully this game, Ten Hag really shows quality, shows that he's a good manager and he knows what he's doing. Because, there's a lot of question marks being asked about him at the minute. Obviously, I'm not a big fan of his in-game management, and I feel like he doesn't look at games and doesn't think he can change things in the game that can put his team on the front foot. I feel like he's so confident and arrogant in his coaching that he feels that he can put a team out there and that team is good enough to win. And the same substitutions, but he's got a few little tricks up his sleeve now with Højlund and possibly Amrabat if that goes through as well. So we don't know, but I think what we need to do in this game as well is before the game, he needs to take a little leaf out of Alex Ferguson's book and do a bit and play a bit of mind games here. If Højlund's gonna start, don't let nobody know. To an hour before the kickoff and give Arteta really something to think about, because for me, it seems to me that Arteta right now doesn't know how he's going to play or what he's going to do for the majority of the season. So right now will be the best time to hand him a conundrum to deal with and see how well he does with that. So, 50-50, man.
50-50. Dave, what's your thoughts on this game?
I agree. Similar to what Traps has just said, I think we need to be a bit coy about who's available for us. I think that's a good idea, but I just think that the midfield's going to be such a key and important place for us to really take it to Arsenal, regardless of if they decide to start the German giraffe or not. I don't know. Who knows what will happen? But I mean, for me, we need balance in our midfield, and this is showed why Mason Mount doesn't work in this midfield pivot for me. And most likely will probably be Casemiro, Eriksson, and Bruno Fernandes. And there's, as Trap said earlier, there's not going to be a whole lot of flexibility there to make changes to that midfield. But the midfield is where games are won and lost. So I think that battle is going to be incredibly important to win.
No, 100%. Let's go back to the Arsenal side. So Connor, man, talk to me. Are you confident? What's your feelings for this game?
Do you know what? Yeah, I look back at the performances and from the start of the season, and in my opinion, it's just down to tactics. It's down to the formation. It's down to tactics. If you put out our normal team that we finished second in and got into a title race last season, I reckon we completely dominate this game. It's just down to the fact if Arteta doesn't have the arrogance and if he carries on playing this team, I genuinely think you guys have a field day. Because Partey at right back with Rashford coming down the wing, because Rashford is going to be the one to look out for, obviously. In my opinion, in that Man United team, he's obviously the star player at the moment, in my opinion. Him coming down that wing against Thomas Partey, who isn't confident at right back, because there will be situations where he comes back, and if it is the case, to defend the right back, Marcus Rashford's going to be all over him, and he will absolutely destroy him, in my opinion. So we've got to go back to the normal 4-2-3-1 or the 4-3-3, how we want to do it. You've got to drop Kai Havertz, put Ben White back at right back, get Gabriel back in, Partey, Odegaard, and Declan Rice, and go over the same front three as we normally do. I mean, personally, I'm going to go with Saka. I was on TJ's show earlier, or SG popped in for a bit. Personally, Arsenal fans may disagree with me. I'm dropping Martinelli for this game. And the reason I'm dropping Martinelli for this game is because apart from taking a couple shots in the Fulham game, this season so far, he ain't been great. And I'm going to keep it real. So I put in Trossard for him. I think Trossard deserves more of a shout on the left wing for Jesus, the striker. And if they want to, they can flip back and forth. Like they normally do with Jesus and with, what's it called? When Jesus likes to go flip around left wing and up front and striker. So him and Trossard can do that as well. So that's what I go for personally. If we do that, I think we win this game. I think there's a lot of faults in that Man United team. You've got Varane out. Onana, I'm going to be honest. He's a good goalkeeper. But let's keep it real. He's been shaky so far for Man United. Let's keep it real. He has been shaky. You guys don't have an out-and-out prop. Listen, I don't watch Højlund. I haven't watched him at Atlanta, so I can't give an actual proper view on him. But, it'll be his first Premier League game. It's a big game. Let's keep it real. It is a big first game. Now, like I said, I haven't watched enough of him, but to see him come in and maybe slap it straight away, I don't see it personally if he does play. So you guys are missing, unless you play Rashford up front, which I don't think you will. I just don't see the attacking threat personally. I know you've got Bruno Fernandes, let's get forward. Listen, Man United fans, I come from me. I don't rate Anthony. I don't. So I don't see much threat going forward. So in my opinion, this game is ours for the taking. We're at the Emirates. If this was Old Trafford, I'd have a bit of a different opinion. But it's at the Emirates. We know what we can do at the Emirates, especially when United come to the Emirates, especially in recent times. So we just got to show it and go out with just go out. If we go out with a proper lineup, not this testing with Partey at right back, Kai Havertz in the team. If we do that, you guys will have a field day. Fact, 100%. You will have an absolute field day on that pitch. But if we go out with a proper starting 11, 4-3-3 or 4-3-2, 4-2-3, however you want to do it, I reckon we'll do well. And I reckon we'll absolutely destroy you. I'm going to keep it real. I'm sorry. I really do think that. So, my opinion, listen. And if you don't listen, the thing about Martinelli, the only reason I'd say I'd drop him is because he's been a bit shaken. Like I said on the stream earlier when I was on with TJ, I said, if I'm Kai Havertz, right, the thing with Kai Havertz is, I'm on this amount of money. I know how much I'm on. If I'm on that amount of money, and I know I'm earning the most at Arsenal, I'm putting in 110% every single week. No matter what happens. I'm earning a lot of money. I'm not just going to go out there and put in 10% every week. Because let's be real, he hasn't put in 100. The only time and I agree with what Manny said earlier, the only time I've seen him put 100, a good amount of energy into this Arsenal team was when we played Man City and he played up front because he created a good few chances. But apart from that, when he's been in the midfield, he hasn't done absolutely anything. So that's why I say, if you're not performing, you go on the bench. If Arteta likes to, have his agenda with players, like Kieran Tierney, like Emil Smith-Rowe, you've got to show these players that they can't just walk around the team for free. If Kai Havertz doesn't want to put in the energy, he's got to be on the bench. He has to be. And he has to be anyway because he doesn't fit in the team. And that's what I think with Martinelli. If Martinelli's not producing and someone like I think Trossard can, you put Trossard in. And there's nothing wrong with having Martinelli on the bench as an impact sub. Because he can come on in the 50th, 60th minute and really do something. That's just my opinion based on it. That's my opinion on the game. I don't know if we're doing predictions yet. I'm personally going for a 2-0. I'm going for a clean sheet.
Keep that. Yeah. Well, Leeds, let's go over to you. I know some thoughts you didn't like from Conan about Martinelli stopping, but go on to Leeds.
It's not about thoughts I didn't like. I'm not going to lie to you. From what everyone said, all the Arsenal fans, I wasn't hearing what Oli said, but from what I've heard since I've been here, I agree with most of it. I agree with mostly what everyone said. Like, this whole experiment is not working. Throughout this entire season, there's not been one game where I can say for a solid amount of time we've dominated, played our football, done all of that. I can't. Forest was a scrape. Palace was a horrible scrape to a win. It was Burnley, Stoke City-esque, defending for like 30 minutes. Red card on Tomiyasu, whether that's a red card or not, different debate for a different day. Me personally, it was a bit harsh, but either way, that's poor. And then Fulham, a horrible game. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been very impressed with the likes of Nketiah this season. I think he's stepped up. I think he's finally showing his contract. The number 14 shirt is finally putting it in. He looks more bulkier now, more fair, more stronger, more faster, more clinical, which is what I like to see. And I want to see this more on the basis. So congratulations to him for getting that England call up because he deserves it. But on the basis of the Kai Havertz debate, Martinelli, this is my problem. Yeah, I feel like you put Kai Havertz at striker, just like how we did against City. I think he causes more problems for that United backline because bearing in mind, God knows who they're going to play. They might even play Harry Maguire. They might play. I don't know who the hell they're going to play. Honestly, what Lindelof is probably what's going to be Lindelof and Martinez.
Harry Maguire.
What I'm saying is, I think with Declan Rice and the Forest game, and even against Monaco in that friendly that we had, when he was playing that Xhaka role and he wasn't playing as a 6. Bearing in mind, when he's played as a 6 and as an 8, he still played very well. Been very impressive in either way. But I think when he plays as an 8, we see the better of Martinelli, and we saw that against Forest because that assist is probably there's not many assists this season that's going to top that for Nketiah's goal. I think that was brilliant. So I think when you have a player like Rice or a player like Xhaka, obviously he's now, but someone of that player profile next to Martinelli, you see the best of him, 100%. And when you play Kai Havertz, a guy who's lousy, he doesn't check the half shoulder, doesn't track back, looks lazy, next to a guy who's so energetic and he's always ready to make runs in behind, Martinelli's not going to perform as well. And I think that's just it's common. You saw that against Palace. Even when we put Havertz striker, we bring on Zinchenko, played left, and we played that little thing. Kai Havertz played better. I was more impressed with him when he played as a striker when he was playing in midfield. Because midfield, he's just not, in terms of getting his passes out, in terms of checking the shoulder and playing that pass, the right pass, he doesn't do that. And I agree that I think he should be dropped. I don't think he should be starting. However, I think Martinelli should be starting in that left wing role because I want to see him and Declan Rice, that little link up again. Because I think that energy going down that Man United right hand side, bearing in mind Anthony, who, I mean, Connor said earlier that he doesn't rate him. I don't think any United fan rates him right now. I think he's horrible, poor. He just doesn't bring anything to that team as of right now, if I'm being honest. And it's looking like a major stinky flop. But let's not say anything. Give him the season and we'll see what happens. But I think that going down that left-hand side, and then you got Saka and White, hopefully, if he plays right back, because we've seen that overlap last year with Saka coming in, White making that overlap. Against who? What? Regulon. Who the hell are they going to play left back? God knows who they're playing left back.
Oh, my God. Listen, Regulon, I'm going to
that is going to be an
That just got the here we go, by the way. It just got
That's an absolute field day.
No way.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here we go from Romano Regulon. Listen, I'm gonna say my thoughts. Yeah. Willie, you finished, by the way. You finished, Willie.
Well,
listen, my thoughts. Oh, go on.
That left back, I'll just quickly wrap up. So I think, and also this might be very controversial, I wouldn't mind seeing David Raya start in this game as well. Because I think Ramsdale in this game against Palace, he was pretty good. I liked him. distribution wasn't the best. I'm not gonna lie, kicked it up a lot.
Oh, for
But in terms of
goodness
gaming
sake.
crosses, I'm impressed with that. I was impressed with that. However, Fulham, that is unacceptable. You cannot see a guy shooting and look this way. That's literally schoolboy defending, goalkeeping.
For
That's
goodness
unacceptable.
sake.
Cannot do
Regulon.
that.
Oh,
And then even for the Fulham second goal, bearing in mind they were down to 10 men, you're letting a man half volley it into the bottom corner unmarked in the 88th minute when you have more players on the pitch. I'm not saying that's Ramsdale's fault. I'm just saying in general, command your box more. Look like see players in that situation. And I think David Raya, just kind of like how we kind of ushered Lennon out of the team after that Man City game and we got slapped up and then we put Ramsdale in for the Tottenham game a few years ago. I think we need to do the same thing. I'm not saying Ramsdale shouldn't be in this team 100%, but I want to see Raya in that team. So if we're just quickly doing like combat, are we doing like a combined 11?
not
now?
yet. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that later. Yeah, we'll
Later
do
on.
that.
Yeah, but listen, Waleed, I'm going to have to cut in and say I can't agree with that because, look, the reason why Leno was ushered from the team was because obviously when you suffer a 5-0 thrashing, granted it was against a City team that always will be expected to challenge for the league, but the nature of that result was exceptionally, I would say, more deflating than a 2-2 draw. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to, say that the result against the Cottagers was in any way good because this is a team that we were expected to beat by at least 2 or 3. The fact that we conceded a goal within less than a minute of the start was horrible. To not hold our defensive line against 10 men and concede an equaliser was even worse. And bear in mind that as good as Ramsdale's save was, if it had been a proper striker like Mitrovic who had a better first touch, we would honestly have been staring down the barrel of a 3-2 home defeat. But you compared 2-2 to 5-0, a change had to be made. And Leno, the previous season to that, was making some dreadful mistakes. So it was a matter of time before he would leave.
I understand.
Of course, Ramsdale also was making some mistakes, but I think results have dictated so far that, he does get a vote of confidence, at least from me. And a lot of people who know me on these social media circles, YouTube podcast circles, will know that I am not Aaron Ramsdale's biggest fan, but he hasn't really done too much wrong. However, this is going to be the sort of game which will test his mettle. And if he does make some poor mistakes and that costs us, then we could start to talk about some changes maybe. But for now, I think I'd give Ramsdale a vote of confidence, but I'll tell him right now, hit the ice underneath his feet is getting thinner.
That's true. I understand.
Yeah.
I just wanted to quickly go through one last thing before we move on. I just wanted to go through Arsenal's next fixtures because, as Manny said, yeah, if he puts in another stinker, it's not looking good because we've got United obviously, then we've got Everton away. We never win there, but luck might change. Everton away. Where else? We've got Tottenham, North London derby.
Don't you play City soon as well? City as well.
We've got Bournemouth away. Yeah, that's not too bad. Then we've got City at home. Then we've got Chelsea away. Sheffield United at home. Newcastle away. Burnley at home. And then from there, it's not too bad. But we face City, Newcastle, Chelsea, United, and Tottenham before Christmas. So if you really want to stand your ground and win this Premier League title, those are the type of games that you have to win. And if we come out of that period unscathed, or maybe a lost hero there, that would give me so much confidence. But yeah, it starts on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm going to quickly give my thoughts. Now, listen, Arsenal will always be a good game. Is at Emirates. I'm less confident now because, well, obviously with the news of Reguilon, here we go. I'd never understand this signing, but listen, it is what it is. We panicked by, so it is what it is really. So I would have preferred Cucurella, but listen, it is what it is for me. But Reguilon will be a Manchester United player. Listen, I'm laughing really because.
Horace, let me pull your leg. Would you have taken Kieran Tierney?
Of course, on loan, yeah. Why not? On loan, but you know what? This football club is letting all United fans down. But my overall thoughts on the game: listen, we can win this game, but I don't think we will. That lot will probably be left back. I'm not sure, man. For me, if Arsenal score first going early, then we will lose for me because whenever United concede very, very early, then that's when we slip up. So, yeah, it's about who scores first. And now it's going to be a great game. If Partey plays right again, then I don't know what Arteta's doing. He has to go with the proper formation, but we'll get onto lineups soon. So for me, if Partey plays right back, I'm a bit more confident, but we will see how the game goes. Lineups now. Let's get into lineups. Start from the Arsenal fans first. Ollie, give me your lineup for Sunday.
Yeah, this is what I hope for. I don't think it will be, but a lot of people saying Rare in goal. I'll go Ramsdale in goal.
That's fair.
Probably I'll go Ben White right back, but I know it's going to be Partey, and if Partey starts it, we're not winning the game. Left back, because Tomiyasu out, I think we have to start Zinchenko. Two centre backs. Gabriel hasn't been starting, so I'm not sure if he is going to play, but I do want it to be Gabriel and Saliba because that is always good when we do that. I'll go for a 4-3-3 because we've been doing that. Partey, Rice, and Odegaard up front. I want to see Jesus start. And then left wing, I'd like to see Trossard as well, but I think he'll start Martinelli. And right wing, Saka.
Cool. Let's go to Manny. Your lineup for the game against Manchester United on Sunday.
Well, I'm going to piggyback a little bit off what Connor said about the possibility of dropping Martinelli. I do like that because not that I have anything against the boy. In fact, if I were to, I mean, I know this sounds blasphemous, but if I were to choose between Saka and Martinelli on who I'd love more, I'd go for Martinelli. He puts in an amazing shift at times. You can see the effort he puts in, how much he loves the club and how much he tries really hard. I mean, both of them do. Both of them are wonderful, but I just think that Martinelli doesn't really get the PR and the love that he deserves. He also has a very special place in my heart for, what he did for my good friend, the late Stephen Featley, God rest his soul. He dedicated his winner against Leicester to him when he was, it was just before, of course, his sad passing. So he has a special place in my heart personally for that. And I'm really, he's the type of person who, really epitomizes a great deal of what, the youth of Arsenal are about. Hail End boy, I absolutely love him, but I actually think he should be dropped. And this could be a conundrum because if Havertz has to start no matter what, ideally, you would want to see him as a false nine, but with Nketiah having done quite well so far, done so well enough to earn a shock England call-up, while the likes of Raheem Sterling and Nick Pope still haven't been called up, which is really, really, shocking in a way, because, I mean, they've done nothing wrong to deserve to be dropped, to be frank, and Sterling has actually been in great form for Chelsea, with Pope also having returned to action for Newcastle, and, as usual, done quite well. But I actually would probably see Nketiah as the striker. So instead of Martinelli on the left, it would probably be perhaps Havertz on the left. That way, he'd be in an interesting position where he'd be sort of in the middle of the park, but also close enough to the striker so that he can try and affect the balance of play a little bit more. The only problem is he'd have to do a little bit more running down the wing. But just seeing him down the left, I think because he's right-footed, he can cut in fairly easily, at least, I think. And I'd actually prefer a 4-2-3-1, which means that it would be a flat back four, Benny Blanco at right back, and Zinchenko at left back, Gabriel and Saliba, as you were, Rice and Partey, the two defensive midfielders. The attacking midfielders, three, would be Saka, Odegaard, and Havertz from right to left, leaving Eddie Nketiah on his own up top. And the reason why I want to do this is because this is going to be an opportunity for Nketiah to really further come out of that comfort zone and really prove that he can make the jump up to be a proper striker, because a lot of people are sort of playing that ridiculous song about how defenses are in trouble because Eddie's in the room. This is his chance to prove himself that he can be a danger man. And of course, I can't stand that ridiculous phone celebration as if he's trying to call the Ghostbusters every time he scores. But this is a chance to put his dosh where his gob is, as we would say. So that would be it. 4-2-3-1, flat back fours, Zinchenko at left back, White at right back, Havertz on the left, alongside Odegaard and Saka, and Nketiah up front. And then off the bench, you can bring on Trossard, bring on Martinelli in case a few guys have a bit of a stinker, and maybe bring on Kivior for either Zinchenko or Saliba or Gabriel to give one of those guys a rest. And yeah, job's a good one. And hopefully, if Pepe does make it back into the squad, he can also be brought on for Saka. But then with Vieira having made such an impact, we can't ignore him either. So that's my 11.
Cool, fair enough. Connor, your lineup for Sunday.
I'm gonna think in the mind of Arteta here. So I'm gonna probably put Jesus in goal. I'm gonna put Saka at right back. Oh, I'm joking. I wouldn't be surprised though. I wouldn't be surprised. Anyway, no. Do you know what? Well, listen, I can't. Yeah, I said it earlier, but yeah, I'm gonna go for Ramsdale in goal. As much as I do agree with Wally that I do think, yeah, I listen. Ramsdale has made a couple errors, but nothing to warrant, in my opinion, him getting dropped. But I do really want to see Raya at some point. I know we'll probably see him in the Champions League games because I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Cup.
Yeah, or the Cup as well. So I would like to see him eventually. But yeah, no, I'll go with Ramsdale for this one. I agree with Manny. This is a game where he can really solidify himself because Raya's going to be breathing behind his back all season if he doesn't keep putting in really good performances and trying to keep clean sheets. So, and one thing I don't want to see is him getting off his line too much because he likes to do that recently, and I haven't really been a big fan of it. So yeah, I'll go with Ramsdale. Yeah, 4-2-3-1 field, 4-3-3 because we do sort of go back and forth to it, but everyone knows what I'm on. Every Arsenal fan knows what I'm on about. So yeah, Ben White, Gabriel Saliba, and Zinchenko. I don't want any Tomiyasu at left back because now he's back from suspension. I don't want any Kivior, even though Kivior wasn't actually too bad against Fulham, but still Zinchenko, when he came on, you could see he made the difference going forward, especially defensively. It's a different question for another day, but yeah, I'm gonna go for Zinchenko. Yeah, Declan Rice and Partey as the two DMs. Obviously, Partey goes forward. Declan Rice goes forward, sort of like the Xhaka role. So he has to be in there. Of course, Odegaard. I'm gonna go for Saka. I'm still sticking to my opinion. I'm gonna go with Trossard. There's nothing wrong with bringing on Martinelli as a super sub. I just want to see Trossard, one, get more games, and two, I think he deserves it personally, and that's the way I think the team. Havertz has to be dropped completely, in my opinion. If you've got any logical sense, I know it's all this money and 300 grand and all this, but he's got to be dropped. I'm sorry, you can't facilitate a guy where your team's going to be playing 10 men practically. It just doesn't make sense, in my opinion. So drop him. Havertz, Trossard on the left. I did say Jesus earlier, but to be fair, Nketiah does like scoring against Man United, doesn't he? I just thought about that. And as much as I do like to criticise Eddie Nketiah, and as much as I do think he shouldn't be at Arsenal, because I don't think he's the level, he has done pretty well start of the season, and he obviously scored against Fulham when he came off the bench. So, yeah, do you know what? I'll put Eddie Nketiah up front. As much as I want to see Gabriel Jesus, because I do think him and Trossard like to go back and forth from wing to striker. They like to switch around a bit to create a bit more variety in the attack, as you'd say. But I'll go with Eddie. Screw it. Yeah, I'll go with Eddie. Hopefully, and again, I agree with Manny, really shines. Because again, these are the type of games where you want to be putting your name out, really going for it. And the one thing I will say about Eddie is he loves to press. And that's one thing I do like about him. He is always pressing. So, yeah, I think we'll need that. So I'll go back on what I said earlier about that, and I will start Eddie. So that's
and bear in mind, Connor, that Jesus might still not exactly be 100% fit.
Yeah.
He only came on the closing stages against Fulham. So, again, it depends on how Arteta handles him. I wouldn't mind seeing Jesus off the bench to give Nketiah a rest, and maybe if he can score a late winner, reversal of roles.
Yeah, and even that, Manny, I agree with you there because I don't want any more of these dumb injuries because of stupid mistakes.
Yes.
Because I'm not even going to talk about Timber because I could be here for an hour, seriously. So, yeah, I agree with you there. I don't want any, bringing them on too early and stuff. But, hey, I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't mind seeing Fabio Vieira get the same amount of minutes because he was good, man. As much as I criticise him, he was good against Fulham. So... Yeah.
Agreed, son. I mentioned bring him off the bench as a replacement for Saka, if you like, if he gets tired.
So definitely, yeah. So that's my 11, or that's what I'll go for.
Listen, Ericsson will be tired after 50 minutes anyway, so it doesn't matter how 20 minutes Fabio Vieira gets. Waleed, your lineup for the game.
I think you guys have kind of changed my opinion on Ramsdale, so I think I'm going to give him one last chance to start. But if he has a stink or if he's not performing to the level where we expect potential England number one and Arsenal number one to be playing at, he needs to cut because I'm not having this shakiness with that fixture list that we have coming up. So yeah, but I'll give Ramsdale another chance, so he'll be in goal. I want Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko as the back line. No, none of this dilly-dally and Thomas Partey. I don't want to make something clear, yeah? I don't have a problem with Thomas Partey's performances at right back because he actually hasn't been that bad at right back. My problem is just trying to fit Kai Havertz into the team when he shouldn't be in the team as of now. Because as I believe it was Connor who said it, you need to earn your place to be in this team. And Kai Havertz hasn't done that yet. So I like Prime AFTV has been back recently. Everyone's just been all over the gap saying, "Oh, Havertz this, Havertz that. Don't blame him. Oh, he's a skate." It's disgusting. It's very stupid. I'm not going to get into that, but I just want to make something clear. Like Thomas Partey hasn't been bad. I just prefer him to be in his natural position. So I want him in that 6 alongside with Rice and with Odegaard. Also, just before I finish, yeah. Like, I want to give a little shout out if you haven't already to the GOATs, man, like Saka, Odegaard, Saliba, Ramsdale in the PFA Team of the Year. So, if you haven't spoken about that just yet, my boy's shining. Young player of the year, Saka, my boy. So, yeah. Let me just put that in there, just a little bit of that before we carry on. But, yeah, a lot of people maybe saying play Trossard or play Havertz left wing. I'm saying play Martinelli, and I want to see that Martinelli Declan Rice link up once again. Because against Forest, I enjoyed it and I liked it, and I liked what I saw. So I want to see that again. So I want to have Martinelli on the left and Ketia up top because he deserves it. He's been playing very well, and I don't want like these performances to get to his head because at home, like he is known for scoring more goals at home than he is away. Because against Palace, he wasn't that good. Let's be honest. But for Jesus, yeah. Like, I didn't spend 45 million on a striker to be getting injured left, right, and centre. Bearing in mind knee injuries for a guy in your prime, he wasn't starting in the COVID season when City needed a striker and didn't have one. He was playing left wing and they were playing either De Bruyne's false 9 or this other guy in false 9, this and that. If Jesus wants to be a main guy, wants to be known as a quality elite Premier League striker, he needs to get his fitness up. So he shouldn't be starting. And in general, Arteta shouldn't be rushing him back because, as Connie said about Timber, that was just so dumb what he did with him. It was stupid. So I don't want any of that in this game as well. So I want Ketia starting. And then the kid himself, Bukayo Saka on the right. And I wouldn't mind seeing Nicolas Pepe coming on. Wouldn't mind seeing Fabio Vieira because he deserves it. If Emil Smith-Rowe still exists in Arteta's head, wouldn't mind him coming on. But at this point, I don't even know anymore. But I'm happy that we've got options. And this might be a bit of a crazy statement to say, but as of now, I'm very confident to say that it's been a minute, but we actually, I think, overall have a better squad than Manchester United right now. Because if you're looking at depth in general, United are lacking. Like, let's be honest, you've got no left back. You've just signed Tottenham's third, fourth choice left back for cover. That's poor. Let's not get into that. Right back, it's not looking great. Somebody can play Lindelof in 2023, going on 2024. That's horrible. You've still got McTominay at the club. You've still got. I mean, you let Fred go, even though Fred was better than McTominay last year, which doesn't make sense. Still got Van de Beek at the club. Got Martial at the club at 2024. The guy still got his Ballon d'Or clause from 10 years ago. He's still got him at the club.
I'm seeing United fans saying, go on.
Yeah, but in general, I think we have a better squad as of now in terms of we've got people that we can bring on. We've got Kyrgios if we need. We've got Trossard. We've got Fabio. We've got even Jorginho. Because I can't lie, when I see Jorginho play, he doesn't been that bad. He's passing. I like it. He passes forward. He's not sideways, backwards merchant like the Egyptian king. So I'm happy that we've got someone that can actually do that as well. And in general, I'm happy for this game, man. If we play the formation, if we play the same team, if we don't change a winning formula, I think we'll be United. But if I see this Havertz a BS, I can't be asked for it. But yeah,
100%. Rory, your lineup for Sunday's game.
Ramsdale in goal. Although we'll probably see Raya at some point as an inverted right back. But yeah, look, I'll start Ramsdale. Like, this is his last opportunity for me because Raya's going to be breathing down his neck all season. In fact, not just all season. I'm sure he's going to be breathing down his neck in training as well. And what I've seen in training so far, he's actually looked really good. But you judge him on the football pitch, like in front of the crowd. So Ramsdale in goal. Ben White right back. I feel like we need that chemistry down that right hand side with him and Saka because obviously that is the side we've got to be targeting. Like Reguilon, all of the Spurs fans I've actually watched. obviously I've not watched many, but the realistic Spurs fans have told me that he's not bad going forward, but defensively he is horrendous. So I feel like we've got to target that area, and playing Ben White there is the solution, in my opinion. It's funny because as soon as we brought off Havertz and reverted back to the system we used to play, we started scoring goals against Fulham. So, it balances itself out, innit? So I'll go Ben White right back, and then Saliba, Gabriel centre back. Them two speak for themselves, and then left back Zinchenko. Midfield, I'll go Partey, Rice, and Odegaard. And then Saka on the right. I'll actually go Martinelli on the left, because what I have seen, whenever we do set up with, I think it was Monaco, if I'm not mistaken, that Rice and Martinelli link up down the left-hand side looks far better than the link up between him and Havertz, because Havertz is like placing a sack of concrete there. He's just so slow. And I don't blame him, all right? I blame Arteta. Obviously, he's going to come to Arsenal after being in turmoil with Chelsea. They finished 12th, for God's sake. Obviously, he's going to come through the door if Arteta was going to ask him, Kai, do you want to come to Arsenal? Yeah, come on, man.
That's the same with Ten Hag, man, with Mason Mount.
Yeah, so I don't blame Havertz whatsoever, and I don't think he was at fault for the defeat. It was just the tactics that were installed in that game were just horrendous. So I'll go Martinelli, because I feel like the Rice and Martinelli link up down the left could work out. And then up top, I'll go Nketiah, because I feel like he's got that fire in his belly after getting called up for England. So I feel like Nketiah should start up top. On the bench, you've got some good options, the likes of Jesus, Trossard, Smith Rowe. I mean, I don't know what's going on with him at the moment. Like, we're looking to ship him out the door when Arteta was the one who offered him a new contract and offered him the number 10 shirt. Like, what happened to Project Youth? I don't get it. I really don't. Like, Havertz and look, Vieira did really well against Fulham. Don't get me wrong, but him and Havertz are getting ahead of him. Like, come on. You know what? I think it was 2 seasons ago. I was like, I think we've actually got a midfielder now that can score goals. Like, I've not witnessed this since Fabregas. But now he's not playing. And I don't know whether it is because of the injuries or I don't know. But that is the lineup I would go with. And if we set out correctly, then I think we'll win this game. Because Man United, I don't think we'll set up with a balanced midfield against us. I guess, if we start Partey at right back, Rashford will have a field day. And the way we've been defending, especially in pre-season, right, the warning signs were there, and we never learn our lessons at home, do we? So I think we will concede, I'm not going to lie, because we always concede at home, but at the same time we score goals. So that's why it's tough predicting these games, especially at the Emirates, because it's hard to predict us at the moment with Arteta in charge and his team selection. So
yeah, 100%. Before I get on to traps, obviously, I think a couple of you mentioned Reguilon. I'm seeing United fans saying that they're looking forward. I'm going to be honest. I'm more looking forward to see Reguilon's girlfriend than more of Reguilon. Listen, I can Reguilon. So, traps, your lineup, would you start Reguilon? Who would you start for Sunday if it was traps Ten Hag?
There's not much choices to be going on. I mean, I've heard from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Arsenal fans, and I can just say, the almost champions, the meltdown is beginning. I'm telling you that now. I'm loving this because I'm seeing certain people not happy with this, not happy with that. Kai Havertz is getting the blame for everything, and this is great, So, I mean, it's the perfect time. I just think what Ten Hag needs to do. The footballing gods have spoken, and it's like, look. We've taken Varane out the game, so you have to play Lindelof, Martinez. You don't have a choice. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, better than Darlow, has to play. To be fair, if anyone's going to have a chance against the likes of
Bro, the Anthony curse.
I don't know if because Ten Hag must have cut me off there, because I don't know if he Anthony's got some secret information in regards to Ten Hag's personal life, why he has to play every game, but I think Anthony will be there. He will be there and he will love it. Through the middle, I feel like Sancho had a good game against you lot in preseason. I know it's only preseason, but I'd go false 9 with Sancho. And then we bring on the wild card.
Rasmus Højlund.
No, I don't think Højlund should start. I don't think he should start. I don't think he should start. I think he should sit back, take the game in for 70 minutes or so. If United is still in the game or is poised at 1-1, or because and then maybe he can come on, make his name, you know. So yeah, I feel like he should come on, maybe fling on a Garnacho and a Pellistri or whatever in the last half an hour. Really, but this time, go out on your sword, throw the kitchen sink at these boys, because they are fragile. Yeah, they are fragile. So they're going to come out of there. I don't know if I put it this way. I think that if Man United beat Arsenal on Sunday and Havertz doesn't play, they're still going to give him the blame. They're still going to blame him. Yeah. So for me, the fan base is fragile right now. Arteta doesn't know what he's doing right now. Go with what you know. Maybe and obviously last season we would have had he who shall not be named up front. But obviously we've got better options in obviously Sancho, false 9, and obviously Højlund coming on. So yeah, man, Arteta's got his work cut out, man. He's got to show what he's a 700 million pound man with a 105 million pound bag of rice. Yep, that one there. He's got. We'll see what's happening, man. We'll see what's happening.
Okay, Traps. Let me ask you a question now. Did you mention who your defensive midfielders would be, and what formation are you going to use?
I'd said I'd go with the Casemiro, Eriksen, and Bruno midfield.
So 4-3-3.
That's that. Well, yeah, 4-3-3. Yeah.
Okay. Right, let's get into score predictions. Traps, I'll start you off first. What are you saying?
I don't really like to do predictions, man, because when I do predictions, they don't come true.
Neither.
So you know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna sit on the fence and say it's a draw. A draw. I reckon it's a 1-1 draw.
Okay, fair enough.
Because Arsenal, what was their last? Arsenal's last few. How many goals Arsenal scored this season?
5.
5.
5.
Yeah, 5.
And there's been a few penalties in there, isn't there?
1. Yeah, 2 penalties. 2 penalties.
Not on Forest by a penalty.
Must be 3 penalties then. Have we had a penalty each game? Because did we have? No, we didn't. Did we have a penalty against Fulham? No, we didn't, did we?
Yes, we did.
No, we had a penalty against Fulham.
Yeah, you did.
Saka scored that. And if memory serves me right, there were no penalties against Forest. There were 2 penalties.
Yeah.
One against Palace and the other one against.
Yeah, 2 penalties. Yeah.
So what in the last sort of like what we saying, like in the last sort of 2-3 games, there's been most of the goals have come from penalties. Am I right?
I'm telling you, Trap. I'm telling
Not
you.
most of them.
I'm asking because I know.
Penalties. Yeah, I'm telling you. If we
This is the same football team that got 27 penalties in one season, by the way. But okay.
Listen, I'm just asking. Listen, Waleed, you like to do this. That's last season. Forget about last season. This is a simple question. It's not a trick question. It's just I just want the answer.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So at the minute, is it fair to say that Arsenal are not free scoring Arsenal as they were?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, 1-0, man. I'd say 1-0, man.
1-0. Okay, Connor, what are you saying?
2-0. 2-0. I personally, bar Rashford, and because I think if we have our normal back four, I generally don't think Rashford. Well, listen, have a go at me. I don't think Rashford.
I think Anthony can do something against Zinchenko, in my opinion. But
do you know what? I wouldn't put him down for it. Honestly, Zinchenko defensively. I mean, us Arsenal fans know it isn't. It's not pretty. It's really not. Him going forward, it's fantastic. It's got like that's why I said if we needed a midfielder this summer, we've got him in a left back. We just put him in midfield because Zinchenko midfield would have been the answer, and we'd have gone and got a really good left back. But hey, it is what it is. I'm not Arteta, so. But I'm going to go personally with 2-0. Personally, I just don't see where your goals are coming from. We may get a surprise. I know you obviously made a really good comeback against Nottingham Forest, but I don't know. I just don't see it. And obviously, let's be real, the defense will be a bit shaky. Obviously, you've got Delo coming in at the left back. Obviously, Varane is going to be massive that he's not out because Varane is really, really good. Obviously, we know for your team. So, but you got Sandro Martinez in there, and we know how much of he's great, but I hate him. You know, he's a really good defender because obviously we were going to get him. Do you remember we had that saga when he went over to United? So he's a great defender, but if we play, I'm saying this 2-0 if we go with the formation that we all want. That's why. I'm saying this here. If we go with our normal team that we went with against these last 3 teams, you will win. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was maybe a 3-1 loss. I'm being serious. I really am. Because, I could let loose. Serious. I'm being real. So I'll tell you, being arrogant. And listen, I tell you, when I'm looking on social media, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all these Arsenal fans are saying the same thing. If he can't see this,
you're gonna fall down the lane, mate.
I don't know anymore. I don't know.
I think you got to give Arteta a bit more respect than that, man. I don't think you can expect Arteta to look at Twitter and be like, right, I've got to change this. I think he's got to believe in. He's got to believe in his source a bit better than that. Do you know what I mean?
You see the reaction from I can solemnly say, and probably very confidently say as well, that 80 to 90% of the Arsenal fan base is saying the exact same thing right now.
Yeah, but you lot are still reacting from Thierry Henry not winning the Ballon d'Or and Nedved winning it. Like, this is what you lot are like.
This happened a few years ago when we took out Leno and bringing Ramsdale. People were saying, "Why are we saying Ramsdale?"
Listen, it's 3-4 games in. You lot just need to chill, man. Let him do his work.
The reason I'm saying this personally is because we can laugh all about last season. We bottled it, second place. But at the end of the day, we were playing football that got us into a title race for a very long time. Why are you now changing it? But not also that. We just had a pre-season, right? That whole pre-season, we didn't do any of that stuff. None of it. We only done it against Forest last season and then against Wolves at the end as the last game of the season, the 2 last games of the season. Why, when you've done it, if you haven't done it in pre-season, when it is just a hit, free run, do whatever you want, why are we doing it now? When it's now the important parts. That's what I don't understand. That's why I'm saying the reason I'm criticising him is if something ain't broken, don't fix it.
Do you want me to answer that?
It is broken because we didn't win the league, to be honest.
Do you want me to answer that?
We should have.
Go on, Traps. Go on.
Like, see, last season, right? Yeah, you lot had a good pre-season last season, and you carried that form into the league, right? Now, you lot won. I think you lot got 50 points in 19 games, right? Nobody in the Premier League, not even Man City, in that first half of the season, was at the level that you lot was at. You lot was playing your best football, yeah, from start to finish, and it declined at the end of the season when you bottled it, right? So the reason why you know this is because in sort of May time, April, May, half of the Premier League, like literally half of them, was in a relegation battle. So you know that no one was playing good football last season. You lot was playing to the best of your ability. Now, that way you played last season. People watch things. Teams watch things. They watch you lot back. You lot are very, very predictable in the way you lot are going to play. So at the end of the day, he knows this himself. So he needs to combat that. I know obviously he might be overdoing it in certain ways, and you think, oh, if we play this, we might play better, we might not. Because at the end of the day, right, if he goes and plays what you lot want and it goes left, you lot are not going to take the blame for it. You're not going to sit there and say, oh, well, that's what we wanted, so long live Arteta. You're going to say, Arteta's finished, they ain't got a clue, get him out the club. That's what you're going to say. So I think that you lot need to realise that it's 4 or 5 games into the Premier League. He's doing what he thinks best. He's not doing it to the detriment of your club. So I think just let him cook, because you've let him invest 700 million into the team. You have to let him do what he's doing, because
He's been cooking for 4 seasons.
Yeah, Traps. I'm going to come right in now, because listen, the argument that you've just put out there has been an argument that's been put out by so many people, including other Arsenal fans, who've said, you know, if Pep Guardiola can experiment with his Manchester City team, then Arteta should have the right to experiment too. But Lee Judges, big up to him, by the way. I know, you know, there are some people who either like him or loathe him. I mean, he's not anywhere near as bad as some of those other mugs on that channel, which shall not be named. But he also made a good point that the experiment with Partey at left back, and I think we mentioned it too, the experiment with Partey at right back was tried near the end of last season when we played against Forest and lost and completely lost the title, and then had a blowout against Wolves, which meant nothing. But one of the biggest common factors over there was his refusal to give Kieran Tierney a chance to play, bringing him on criminally, you know, with barely minutes or seconds left. That was a sign that, you know, he just didn't want him to be a part of the team. And that's really down to arrogance, because what manager in his right mind would even consider trying to bring one of the best defensive midfielders in the Premier League, bringing him in at right back and having that sort of a formation? We went up against the Forest team that was in a relegation battle for almost the whole season, and we lost at the City ground. I don't care how good their home record was. We had no business going over there and putting up that sort of a performance. And to do the same thing again and again, look, if you genuinely want to try some options to sort of see how the team can be balanced out, that's fine. But to refuse to even give Tierney a chance because you're so infatuated with your new inverted left back, who is now injured, and are willing to play Tomiyasu ahead of him like he tried against Liverpool, only for him to completely come a cropper in the few games after that, to me, that is to the detriment of the club, because he's putting his own ego first. He just didn't like Kieran Tierney at all. And now, thankfully, our Braveheart has gone to Sociedad, where I hope he has the time of his life. He'll be playing in the Champions League over there, one of the best traditional left-backs in the game. But apparently Arteta refused arrogantly to have a plan B where his talents could be used. He just gave him a half chance, saying, here's a chance for you, a sort of a throwaway chance. Let me see how good you are. And if you, muck up, that's it for you. So it is to the detriment of the team, because he's stating his own ego. And several of us are able to see through that. So I'm sorry, but as a manager, you have a right to sort of try new things, but you also have a responsibility to make sure that you make the most of the talents at your disposal in terms of the players. And Arteta has failed to do that. And if he's going to continue to persist in, using this ridiculous system with Partey at right back, and sort of have him cut in, leaving our three-man defense completely stretched all over again, I'm sorry, but there's no excuse for that. He's, trying something new, but only for the purpose of stroking his own ego rather than thinking of what's good for the team. And it's a question, and it's really down to his poor man management skills more than anything else. If he really is concerned about what's good for the team, he tried to, mend fences with some of those players, and those players also have to do their bit and, come cap in hand to him if they've crossed him in any way, and say, let's put our differences aside and take the team forward. But his refusal to be willing to do that, and it leaves him with so few options, and he has to try to experiment. That's all his own doing. So I'm not about to give him any benefit of the doubt. I am not going to let him cook lest he burns my Sunday roast. I'm not having that. Burnt roast beef, burnt Yorkshire puddings, burnt gravy. I'm sorry, but I'm not having that. And let me just finish before you come back in. We're willing to sort of give him some chances, but he has to really show that he is keen on doing something which will be for the benefit of the team. He has to be willing to realize when his changes are not going well, and also take responsibility and say, you know what, if it's not working, We have to try to fix it. And granted, Zinchenko may very well be injured, but that is no excuse for leaving one of the best left backs in the Premier League out simply because you don't like the look of his face. There's no excuses for that. As a manager, he's supposed to be above all of that nonsense. Back to you, Traps.
I mean, I don't know what the issue is with Tierney. There's obviously more to the story, but I think that Arsenal fans, I don't think you have a choice, because when he came in and people like me were saying Arteta is not the right man for this job. He shouldn't be managing Arsenal. We was labelled a hater, or we don't know what we're talking about and whatnot. And now he's won you lot over. He unfortunately has the right to do what he wants in this season, because he's got you to a second place finish and you've backed him ridiculously. So at the moment, until there's a board meeting and the results are going terribly wrong, I don't think anybody can really have any say to Arteta right now, because Arteta has got you from 8th for finish, maybe another 8th finish, 5th. He's got you into the Champions League. He's got you in the title race. And to be honest with you, how many points have you got now? How many points have you got? 7?
7, yeah.
So you've dropped what, 2 points?
Yeah.
So you've dropped 2 points. So you've dropped 2 points. It's not exactly the end of the world. And I think that Arteta, I mean, everyone thinks that they know better than the managers. Like, I see Ten Hag doing some stuff, and he gets on my nerves. I mean, he gets on my nerves with the things that he does and the things that the way that he goes about. It's like, you know what's going to happen. You think, he's 60th minute or 65th minute, he's going to bring on a McTominay, or he's going to bring on a Garnacho and just do the same thing. It pisses me off. Like, sometimes he sees things you see things going on in a match. He doesn't change it. He just lets it run. He just sits there, hands on hips, face like a slapped arse, watching but at the end of the day, what he done last season, i.e., he's got 31 games unbeaten at home. What I want and what he's doing, you have to give him that time, because at the end of the day, at the end of the season, if you're saying all this now, and at the end of the season, he's lifting trophies by the way he's playing, there's not a lot you can say to this. So right now, the jury has to be out, but obviously you're entitled to your opinion, but I just don't think he's doing anything wrong. To have 7 points out of 9, and I do think the only thing I can say is I don't think that all the players that he's bought in the transfer window, I don't think they have improved Arsenal at all. I don't think they do. I think Arsenal remain at the same level that they were last season, because Partey, for me,
you're telling me Timber's not an upgrade.
Timber's out. Timber's not an upgrade because Timber's out injured. We don't know what Timber's like. We don't know what Timber's had a good couple of games. Don't get me wrong, but he's out injured now, so we don't know what he's going to come back like. We don't know what he's like.
Okay,
so
David Raya is a backup.
David Raya having a backup goalkeeper doesn't improve your team.
Because I agree with you with the fact of, like, a lot of people said why I was so fuming why Timber got injured is, people were like, oh yeah, like speedy recovery and all that. And why I was so angry about Arteta bringing him back onto the pitch after the 45, that guy is so versatile, as people like to use. He could play left back, centre back, and right back. You take him out, we're back with the same defence as last season. And we just got to realise here, and I don't want to predict things because this may not happen, and God forbid it doesn't. If Gabriel Saliba gets injured, we are back to where we were last season, of where we then slipped off and the title fell away. That wasn't just the reason, but it was one of the main reasons. So I can agree. That's why I'm buzzing with the signing of Declan Rice. I really am happy with it, but that's it for me. Obviously.
See with the Declan Rice thing, I don't think you lot needed to buy Declan Rice, to be honest with you. I don't think that was necessary. I feel like when you look at seasons that you had, like last season, you fell short, right? Obviously, Saliba got injured. You lot wasn't the same team when Saliba got injured. Granit Xhaka's gone. Granit Xhaka is an important part to that team, mentality-wise, and he had a great season last season, and obviously he played further up the pitch and he did well. But him as a leader on the pitch, that's what you're missing. You're now missing that because you bought. Like obviously he's gone and Declan Rice has come in. So if me as a manager, I'd be looking at it saying, right, look, we finished 5 or 6 points behind City. We need to get 5 or 6 or 10 points. Now we need to get. Where can we get 10 more points from this season? For one, I would have said, look, not overspent in the market by getting Declan Rice because he's not going to get you the points. I'd have been like, look, cool. We've got Nketiah. I've given him $100,000 a week. I believe in him because I've given him $100,000 a week, so I definitely believe in him. So all right, I'm going to give him a run. Obviously, him and Jesus compete, whatever. But if they're not scoring, I'll tell them straight. I'll be like, look, if you lot are not scoring consistently by January, I'm going to get Ivan Toney, mate. So that would have been that done, yeah. Xhaka, for me, I would have been the perfect. I would have needed to replace Xhaka. I'm talking mentality-wise. I'm talking the way they play. Someone who's a bit aggressive in the midfield. And I probably would have went with the likes of like Paulinho from Fulham. That's what I would have went as a replacement. And in at the centre back position, the situation, the centre back, you lot know it's clear that if Saliba goes out the team, you lot do not play to your level. So you need a replacement who's going to be able to compete with Gabriel, compete with Saliba, and also be there in case something goes wrong. So me personally, I'd have been biting City's hand off for Emerick Laporte, to be honest. And just them 3 signings alone, yeah, maybe get Timber in as well. Just them alone, for me, that gets you extra points. I don't think Declan Rice, David Raya, and who else did you get? I'm not even sure.
Havertz.
But Havertz, that's it. Havertz. I don't think they make a difference. I don't think they make a difference, and I feel that you lot are at a position now where you've been in a title race now, so you're expecting that. That's your level now, and you might come unstuck, and then you're going to blame Arteta. But realistically, it's a long list of things, man. But I just think right now you lot are crying about a lot that you don't need. It's early days, man.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Traps, listen, let me have the last word on this, and we're going to have to move on because other people have to give their lineups, okay? One reason why our Ten Hag gets credit in my eyes as a neutral watching Manchester United is that when he sees something wrong, he changes it. And he's very proactive in that regard. The problem with Arteta is, for some reason or another, he doesn't have that proactivity. For him, it's always my way or the highway. He still believes in it. And it takes a long time for him to finally wake up and realize, it's not working at all. We had the same problem with Willian in 2020, 2021, where he had to play in every single game. Started well against Fulham in the first game, but then dropped stinker after stinker. We didn't qualify for Europe through the league. We lost in the Europa League semi-finals. And he would have stayed on had he not decided to end his contract and move away, because by then the fans had enough. And I'm going to tell you right now, if we continue to drop some horrible performances, whether it's in the Premier League or in the Champions League, if we continue to flatter to deceive, then slowly but surely, many of these fans are going to start to see that the Emperor has no clothes. And also last season, let me tell you one more thing. Many of our rivals had poor seasons. We had a lot of disruptions with Her Majesty passing away and the World Cup in December, where several teams had their internationals' minds focused on that. When the World Cup was over, they came back and were fresh and ready to go, and the momentum carried them through. And it was the case with Manchester City. So in a nutshell, as you've said, the jury is out, but we are going to hold him to the standard. We are going to hold his feet to the fire. And if he doesn't get the results that we need, that we desire from this team, he has to take the blame for the poor transfer window. He definitely has to take the blame for his poor tactics, which cost us games. And so the fans are slowly but surely going to see that the Emperor has no clothes, and they're going to say, get out of here, put some clothes on, and don't you dare come back. And that's going to be the end of it. Ollie, we're going to come to you. What's your lineup?
No, score predictions. Yeah, score predictions, Ollie. Score predictions.
Predictions. My bad.
Yeah, I'm not good at predictions as well, but I'm going to go with a 2-1 Arsenal.
Fair enough. Manny, what's your score prediction for this one?
Yeah, this is something that should make Ollie either irritated or happy. I'm going to sit on the fence and predict a 2-2 draw. But Mr. Sinclair knows that every time I predicted a draw, we've gone on to win. So 2-2.
Yeah, Waleed. What are you saying, Waleed?
All right, I'm going to give my prediction, but I'm just going to quickly give my quick thoughts on that little conversation we had. If we're talking about Arsenal transfer window, yeah, it's not fair to rate it. It was still in August. Okay, we've had a few, yes, the Fulham game, the first game, the Palace game. Overall, we haven't played that well. The Palace game has shown me one thing, though, that there is a possibility and that we have gotten better when it comes to closing out games in certain situations away from home. If this was last season or 2 years ago, Palace would have slapped us up, and I think a lot of us would have known that. So the fact that we were able to close out that game was one good thing. Secondly, when it comes to the signings of like Havertz and Rice and even Timber, everything that all those guys have in common is that they all have versatility. Because if you play the same thing, this is why Man City have won the league year in and year out. Nobody knows how they're going to play come the start of the season. Last season, They haven't. September 2022, they've not played and are not playing the same way as they started in September 2023. They play in 4 centre backs as a back line, which now Arsenal started to do, which other teams are going to start doing as well. And they always know how to evolve and get better. 2017, they were more of a possession counter-attacking based team. 2019, 2020, in the lockdown seasons, they were more defensively sound and on the counter-attack. Now, this time, they're completely defensively sound and midfield sound, and they dominate games. City, yes, they might have more of a financial backing, I understand that, and they've got Pep Guardiola, arguably the greatest coach, tactician of all time. Of course, it's going to get better. When you look at Arsenal, you can't play the same way, and this is something that we were arguing about last year when we were drawing games like Brentford at home, or annoying results where you think, oh damn, we should have won. We never had a plan B. Now that Arteta is trying to make a plan B, this isn't me trying to say that it's working or it's not working. Now that we're trying to make a plan B, people are still complaining. At the end of the day, if you play the same way 2 years in a row, you're going to get found out. Teams know. By December, by January, by February, people will find us out. Guys like Everton were beating us. Like Brighton was slapping us up in our own stadium, having their fucking manager doing knee slides. Like, that's actually a disrespect. You can't be having that. And now that we've sorted things out, we bring in players who can, for example, Rice can play as a 6, can play as an 8. Traps, you were saying about, how we've missed Xhaka leaving. Declan Rice took Mark Noble, bearing in mind he's been captain of that West Ham team for years, a solid decade, took on his back, carried West Ham to make sure they didn't get relegated. And he, if anything, if we're talking about leadership in that midfield, he has the most leadership in that midfield. Maybe Odegaard's more of that silent assassin in terms of the way he goes about his thing. But in terms of about vocal, Declan Rice has really made himself clear in the dressing room that he's not one to be shy or not give his way. He will say what he needs to say. And when we're trying to, and just one last thing, one thing that I will say about Arteta in terms of not giving people like Tierney a chance or Balogun a chance or Smith Rowe a chance, being a bit like, I don't want to play these guys. Yeah, that's maybe something that he might want to improve on, because bearing in mind, this is the same guy who gave Balogun a new contract, who gave Smith Rowe a new contract. Tierney was our best player in that lockdown season. So the fact that he just basically turned on them in a way, ships them out, not playing them, that's a bit annoying. But in terms of having a plan B, I don't think that's a bad thing. I'm not going to lie. And as the season goes on, we'll see whether that works or not. Obviously, as of now, mixed results. We're not doing terrible in the league, but performances aren't. I don't know. Anyway, with the United game, bearing in mind, we haven't even spoken about this yet because for most of the streams, there's only been 2 United fans. I know Dave has joined now. But Man United have had a poor start to the season as well. Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro, that midfield wasn't working from day dot. From pre-season, it wasn't working. We felt like they bring that into the season and they're getting found out left, right, and center. It's not looking good for them. In terms of that midfield, it's literally, I even said this in the previous stream that I just did today, but it's literally a bagel FC. There's nothing in the middle. Getting guys like Matheus Nunes running through their midfield. Matheus Cunha looking like prime R9, running in a straight line at home. That's disrespectful. And we need to play that to our advantage as like with Arsenal. We've got overloads in terms of we got White and Saka in that way. We would have if we were to play Jesus, he'd come out to the left, Martinelli on the left. We can stretch the pitch and get people like Rice to run through, because Declan Rice, one thing he's great at is carrying the ball. If we give Rice that space or Odegaard that space to run in, it's a long day. So anyway, with this game, if we play the way we know to play and the way we can get like results done and dusted, I'm saying 3-1. I don't feel we'll keep a clean sheet just because we just don't keep clean sheets at home. And Man United are probably going to get a jamming goal signed. VAR's going to do some dumb shit. I'm not even interested. But 3-1. However, if we do this, I'm probably saying a 1-1 draw. That's me.
Cool. Fair enough. Rory, what are you saying for your score prediction for this game?
If we set up the way I did, my lineup, then I'm going to say 3-1. I think we will concede because, as I said, that's what we do at the Emirates nowadays. I feel like we're just going to play to our strengths, really. We're going to know Man United are vulnerable at left back with Reggie gone at full back, especially with him not being able to defend. They've got flipping Jade from Ted Lasso at CDM, so I guess we can maybe target him. But again, Casemiro at times is class, all right. I'm man enough to admit that. But I just feel like we'll have enough. However, with all of this Partey right back nonsense, then we don't stand a chance. Because I'm not saying Partey's done awful, but you can clearly see he doesn't enjoy it at right back, and he doesn't often rely on his pace. So with Rashford running at him, I don't think he's going to last long because he's going to be in midfield half of the time. That pretty much came from the first goal against Fulham under a minute, where Saka plays a blind pass, and surely you're expecting your right back to cover, but he's in midfield. So Partey's got to be in the midfield with Rice and Odegaard. And if that happens, then I think we win this game. I really do. But again, it's just whether the team turns up in it. It really is. I think it's a debate between who starts Martinelli and Trossard, Raya or Ramsdale, but that team is strong enough to go toe-to-toe with this Man United team. They haven't looked exceptional in pre-season and in the Premier League, so there are weaknesses. However, we've got weaknesses as well. For instance, the system we do play just isn't suitable for players like Martinelli and like Kivior at left back. I mean, surely we see none of that again at the weekend. Not just Partey at right back, but like Kivior at left back. Fair enough. If you want to invert him into the midfield, but don't start Partey there, then okay, fair enough. But playing him as a natural left back when you had Tierney right there, unacceptable. It's bloody criminal. So I feel like starting Zinchenko is huge for this game because we can double up in the midfield, like we have done in previous games with Partey at right back. But with Partey already in the midfield, so he doesn't need to cover at right back, Zinchenko is going to be vital. I don't think he's going to get skins too much because I've got to be honest, I'm not a fan of Anthony. I don't know why he splashed £100 million on him because he's Ten Hag's ball boy in it. So, yeah, what can I say? So, yeah, I mean, 3-1. I mean, yeah, it's just typical home win, innit? We do turn up at the Emirates, but sometimes we're known for conceding goals despite the quality. Like, we could be playing Mansfield Town and we could dominate them for 80 minutes and then concede a goal. So, I don't know. It's difficult to predict these sort of games, as I said, but we'll see.
Yeah, before I get on today, I know a couple do have to go. So, Connor, before you go, shout out what the social where people can find you.
Yeah, you appreciate having me on, Oros. Big up to everyone on the panel as well. It's been a good chat. You can find me on Instagram. My main thing is I'm doing editing. So all of Oros's graphics I do for him. And I work on TJ Warren TV. Make sure you go subscribe to him. He's on the road to 500 subscribers. He's an Arsenal fan. I do all the work on his channel as well. So all graphics and editing I do. If you want to find me on Instagram, it's cmo.editing on Instagram. And feel free to shout me in DMs. All my stuff's on there, all my work. So you can find me on there. And appreciate bringing me on, Oros. And fingers crossed it's an Arsenal win this weekend. So
Big up Connor. And also Traps, man. Shout out people you can find him. Big up for joining.
Yeah, big up to everyone. Good stream. You can find me Traps MUFC, Instagram, TikTok. TikTok's quite funny at the minute. Enjoying it. You can find me on those. Yeah, just that's it. I'm here.
Big up,
big up. And look out for Thingy as well. Look out for Connor because he's going to be joining me soon.
Wait. I'm down, man. I'm down. Sounds good.
Yeah, big up both of you, man. Big up both.
So yeah, look out for the upgrades to the channel and all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Get me up, man. All right,
but yeah, big up to everyone, man. Good stream.
Yeah.
Traps,
take care. Everyone be safe.
Traps.
Take care, fellas.
Take care. Connor, big up to you, man. Big up to you, Connor.
Yeah. See you later.
But yeah, Dave, first of all, your lineup and then your score prediction for this massive game on Sunday.
My preferred 11 for the match.
Yeah.
Onana in goal. The back four, I don't think you really have much choice, do you? Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Lissandro and Dallo, even with Reguilon coming in. Casemiro, Eriksen, Bruno, Foyland's fit. I want to see him start. Rashford on the left, Sancho on the right.
Cool. And your score prediction for this one?
3-1 Arsenal.
3-1 Arsenal. I'm going to give my one in. I think I've said that. Did I say mine? No. I'm going to go with 2-1 Arsenal. I think Arsenal are going to win this one. I really do. But like I said, if Arteta keeps playing party right, but then we do have a chance, but it's down to whether we can take our chances or not. I was going to do a combined 11, but I don't know if you guys want to do that. But yeah.
My phone's about to die, so.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up. Because I want to keep timings very short. But yeah, we've discussed everything, you know. Look, I think we're all looking forward to this game for Sunday. So we're going to get people to shout their socials. So Ollie, let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, YouTube Sinclairo, and Instagram Ollie.Sinclair556.
Yeah, big up to you, Ollie, for joining. We're going to get Walid himself. Walid.
Mainly you can find me on TikTok, Willidinho1 on TikTok. I post every day. You'll probably find me on here when I'm available as well. I'm just gonna be everywhere. But yeah, TikTok I've slightly shadow banned me. So if you guys can actually watch my videos, give me some views, give me some likes, that I'd appreciate that a lot. But yeah, Willidinho on TikTok. Find me there.
Yeah, make sure you guys follow up this TikTok. Manny, where can people find you, Manny?
Yeah, you can find me over here on Oris Talks Football. Big up to Oris for organising the stream, by the way. Big up as well to Hanno's Coach's Corner, where you can find me there. I know he's got a stream right now. Couldn't join that, obviously, but you can catch me, doing a few watch-alongs and doing some other streams with him on other sports as well. Big up as well to Del Boy Gunner TV. I work with him closely on his call-in shows after every Arsenal game. Also, Tony Claude Gunner TV, Danny AFC TV, Up the Cherries in all departments, AFC Talk Show TV, Villa TV, Matt the Southern Gooner, TJ Warren TV, and also Eugene Spurs Asia TV, which is a Spurs fan channel. I'll be going on his stream tomorrow at about 4 p.m. UK time to discuss the transfer activity. And several other channels on YouTube right now, which I can't really name. Big up as well to Gun Down, our good man Carl, who obviously left a compliment for me in the chat. Thank you very much indeed, mate. I hope I'll get to work with you again soon. Also, Daddy and the Don Sports, Graham and Phil, hope to catch up with you lot as well. And several other channels again, who I just can't name, but you will get a check in the post from me. And I always say that it's very important to keep these chats respectful and avoid unnecessary banter. We need to learn to agree to disagree without being disagreeable. Otherwise, there's no point in having a discussion. So let's respect one another. Simple as that. Big ups everyone else in the chat for your contributions. You're the ones who make this video and our channel what they are. Enjoy this upcoming weekend. Enjoy the sporting action to come. Take care of yourselves, be safe and be happy, and don't do anything that the panel and I wouldn't do. For now, though, have yourselves a good evening and a good night. Cheers.
Be up to you, Manny. Be up to you, man. Be up for you for joining. We're going to get Dave. Big up to you for joining, man. Good to see you again. Let them know where people can find you.
Good to see you as well, Horace. It's always a pleasure to come on. If you want to find me, go follow and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Premier League Primetime, and also take a look at our Instagram as well, as you can see right there, at PL Primetime, to keep up with what myself, Walid, Sirius, Andre, and Jose are doing on our channel. Go take a look. Our weekly predictions will be out and up there very, very soon. So go check us out. Go subscribe. Let us know what you're thinking in the world of football.
100%. Make sure you guys go follow them both, Instagram and YouTube. And last but not least, Rory, big up to you for joining. Good to see you.
Yeah, so you can find me on RD12YT. RD12_YT. You can also find me on Instagram as well. I think it's the same as well at RD12_YT. So follow me on Instagram as well as Twitter and TikTok as well. I'm on numerous social platforms. forms, and I'm glad to be on here.
Oh, I think his battery died out. But yeah, he did mention that his battery was very low. So yeah, big up to Rory himself. But yeah, it's been a good one. Oh yeah, I usually say made the best team win, but listen, it is what it is, man. Hopefully it's gonna be a good game. But yeah, I mean, Arsenal, for me, as I said, whoever scores first wins this game. I know we scored first last time, but then yeah, but hopefully, you know, I would see Ollie raging and Willie raging on his TikToks and Manny, you know, calling for Arteta to go. So let's see. Hopefully, party right back again. So yeah, guys, make sure you have dropped the like, go follow Willie's TikTok. He's very, very active in there with his videos and stuff. Hopefully, a little raging coming Monday morning when I wake up on my phone. So we'll see. But yeah, big up everyone in the comments. Gun down. Shame, big up to everyone here. Coach Corner. So yeah, we'll be back for the. I will do a match reaction. I won't announce win, draw, lose. I'll be there Sunday. So tune in Sunday. May the best team win. And yeah, peace.